Have you ever wondered why programmers willingly put themselves through absolute psychological torture? Nobody lands in the brutal world of C++ programming purely by accident. If you just wanted to build an app by Friday, Python or JavaScript would do. You chose C++ for total control to feel every single gear turn and own every single byte of memory. What you did not realize is that C++ is not just a language. It is a mental endurance test that quietly rewires how you handle failure, absolute control, and reality itself. Level 1. The Novice. This is where every journey begins, driven by sheer curiosity, big dreams of game development, or a deep desire to understand the physical machine. It all begins with a tiny spark. Maybe you wanted to craft a custom game engine or simply discover what really happens inside the CPU when a single line of code executes. Your very first program is a humble standard print statement. When Hello World pops up on screen, it feels like pure magic, convincing you that you rule the entire machine. Then day 3 hits like a freight train. You encounter your first raw pointer, dereference, a null pointer, and the operating system crashes your entire program instantly. No polite warnings, just a sudden shutdown. You try fixing a missing bracket, only to be rewarded with 200 lines of terrifying red compiler errors from nowhere. You spend half the night reading cryptic header files you never knew existed, trying to comprehend why a simple missing semicolon breaks your whole build environment. While Python developers build a working prototype over the weekend and feel smart, you spend those exact same 2 days wrestling with an ampersand, feeling completely stuck. Yet at level 1, you refuse to quit. Deep down, you realize this brutal struggle is not a flaw. C++ simply refuses to lie about how computer hardware actually works. Level 2, the student. You have built a basic calculator or text game, understood classes, and entered the single most dangerous peak on the entire learning curve. Eventually, the initial chaos settles down. You learn basic OOP and memory allocation, reaching a highly deceptive state of mind known as unearned confidence. You begin pasting standard namespace directives everywhere and scattering raw dynamic memory calls like salt, totally convinced you are a master of memory management. You write raw, new, and delete calls everywhere, blissfully unaware of exception safety or hidden leaks, because that is precisely what your textbook demonstrated. You start browsing forums, offering unsolicited advice to beginners, believing you conquered the mountain. You think you are flying the plane smoothly down the runway. In reality, you haven't even taken off. You are merely speeding down the tarmac with the heavy parking brake fully engaged, completely oblivious to the cliff ahead. Level 3, the junior developer. Reality strikes hard the exact moment you open your first commercial codebase and step foot inside a real enterprise environment. That comfortable illusion shatters instantly when you face a massive enterprise codebase containing millions of legacy lines built by dozens of engineers over a decade. You encounter complex build configurations, ancient architectural patterns, and enigmatic template metaprogramming structures that genuinely look like cryptic alien glyphs. During your initial code review, a senior developer leaves a devastating comment asking why you didn't pass by constant reference or implement proper RAII wrappers. You suddenly realize you didn't just miss a basic syntax rule, you missed the core philosophy. You discover standard move doesn't actually move a single byte of data. You learn that modern smart pointers are not mere syntactic shortcuts. They form load-bearing architecture that clearly defines ownership and object destruction timing. This level 3 stage is where deep imposter syndrome strikes hard. You sit silently in meetings while veterans casually debate cache line alignment and memory barriers. Meanwhile, you discreetly search basic template syntax on your smartphone beneath the table, constantly wondering if everyone else is just far better at pretending than you. Level 4. The intermediate. If you survive the initial shock, something quiet clicks in your mind, shifting your entire relationship with hardware and execution speed. At level 4, you stop battling the compiler's strictness and begin to deeply respect the underlying physical silicon, developing true mechanical sympathy for the machine. You no longer construct simple loops. You structure code to honor L1 cache lines, minimize memory padding, and eliminate pipeline flushes across execution units. You replace heavy object-oriented virtual hierarchies with flat memory arrays to dodge cache misses, viewing memory as physical terrain rather than an abstract grid. Whether you are refining real-time audio systems where 2 tiny milliseconds ruin a recording, or low-latency trading engines where nanoseconds dictate millions, or writing telemetry for automotive controllers, Level 4 C++ grants you raw power that no managed language can match. Direct, unfiltered touch with reality. Level 5, the Senior Architect. Eventually, a deeply humbling realization dawns upon you. Nobody on Earth truly knows every single nook and cranny of C++. The language continuously evolves every 3 years, piling modern paradigms over decades of legacy designs. It has grown far too vast for any human mind to hold. True masters at Level 5 are not those who memorized every obscure feature, but those who carefully decide which volatile parts of the language to avoid entirely. At this tier, you write less fresh code and focus on preventing disasters before they happen, building robust systems so clean that juniors cannot break them. Level 6, the Legend. These are the rare visionaries who don't just write C++ code, but actively shape its standard committee and steer its global evolution. From language creators to renowned authors, they carry the weight of 40 years of accumulated features where every design decision reverberates forever. Whether fixing your very first segmentation fault or profiling a lock-free structure at 3 in the morning, every developer stands on the exact same ground. C++ never gets easy. It refuses to hold your hand, clean up your messes, or hide the cold machine reality. It asks one question: do you know what your code does? And for those who choose to stay through every level, that relentless, unfiltered challenge with the bare metal is the exact reason we never left. Which level of the C++ journey are you currently surviving? Drop your thoughts or worst segfault stories in the comments below. I read and reply to every single one. If this psychological deep dive resonated with your coding soul, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and check out for more engineering breakdowns.